I'm going on strike.
That was the first line they heard.
Hooray! Yep. What's up, everybody?
We're not going on strike. Tyler was just being...
You're not union, you don't get to strike.
Exactly.
I mean, if I had a job, I could actually pay my dues and actually would be union. But anyways, welcome to the LAN Party Podcast. Today is Tuesday.
April 9th. It's a nice day out.
It is a very nice day outside at this very moment.
Finally, nice weather is creeping in.
Jesus.
Yeah,
hopefully it sticks.
Enjoy the 3 weeks.
Hopefully it sticks.
It's gonna go from this to 110 degrees,
90 and 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Enjoy this 3 weeks.
Yeah, where you'll step outside and sit in the shade and sweat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Tuesday. We're back. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Fallout 76 had a pretty big patch today. Further expanding on the Wild Appalachia content. The first thing we're actually going to talk about will be Borderlands 3 and this whole Epic Games debacle that is gaining even more and more hate. And then I want to talk about a little bit of stuff as far as Forza's concerned. There's a few things that came out during the monthly stream that they do, and then we'll probably talk about other shit in between. That's how it tends to go around here. We probably won't get to half the stuff that I was planning on talking about,
as per the usual.
But let's just go ahead and dive into it. So, Borderlands 3, Epic Games exclusive. We talked about this being a leak last week, and it has since been confirmed that it will be an Epic Games exclusive to release on Steam in 2020 April. And as you all can imagine, PC community was not a fan.
Yeah, other than like the 10% that don't care, we don't count them.
Yeah, the PC community was furious. And so they took to social media, tearing the head of Gearbox, Randy Pitchford, to pieces. They took to Steam, review bombing Borderlands and Borderlands 1.
Borderlands and Borderlands
1? And Borderlands 2, I'm sorry.
Like, and I think even the pre-sequel.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And the response that I find is very interesting, and I don't want to misquote him, so I'm going to find his exact quote.
You didn't already have this pulled up?
No.
Man, way to go! What a prepared host.
Tyler?
It's quality entertainment.
But he was not pleased. Okay, here it is. So, like I said,
what?
Steam.
Don't you guys have phones?
What? Don't you guys have phones?
It's basically his response, in a way.
People went to Steam and started review bombing former games. In the Borderlands franchise because they were dissatisfied with the Epic Games exclusive deal, and the head of Gearbox said, ironically, that this misuse is possible and that Steam has no interest in correcting this misuse makes me kind of happy about 2K's decision and makes me want to reconsider Gearbox Publishing's current posture on the platform.
Which the funny thing is, because Steam, or Valve, correction, fixed this about a month ago.
Yeah, you can't review bomb games anymore.
Yeah. Well, there's a setting there that shows, like, oh yeah, this game has received recently a bunch of, like, pointless reviews. Let's filter those out. And it basically puts it back to normal the way it was before.
Yeah.
It doesn't get rid of them, per se. It's just...
It doesn't count them towards the rating.
Yeah. And it shows you the ones, that it thinks would matter to you.
Exactly. And so... First and foremost, Mr. Pitchford, there is a system in place that prevents this stuff from happening.
I'm trying to remember what game caused them to do this.
Probably Metro Exodus.
Probably.
That seems about the time frame.
I feel like there was a game
a year ago that something like this happened with. I can't remember what it was though.
Fallout 4?
No.
Because I remember they review bombed Fallout 4.
Yeah, did it happen when Fallout 76 came out? Maybe.
I don't remember what it was for. Oh, the Creation Club.
That's what it was.
That's when they
right.
started changing it because it got review bombed all to hell.
Nobody wanted paid mods.
Yeah, that and Skyrim SE.
That I didn't care about. I mean, it would be one thing if it was just like.
It was to a lesser extent. It's like people were not happy about paid
But
mods.
yeah, paid mods.
And them actively denying that it's paid mods when it's paid mods.
Yeah, like, but that's just like, it's not paid mods. I'd be like,
It's literally that was a mod, and now you're charging $2.99 for it.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those, like, you can polish a turd, it's still a turd.
and I would have such a smaller problem with the Creation Club if the mods on Creation Club were substantial. But if you look at the mods on Creation Club, it's like new weapon skins. It comes with a short quest where you have to read a note and then go to a location and you find you're able to craft. I'm like, give me quest mods. The Tunnel Snakes one was good. The one that brought the classic Fallout 10mm pistol to the game, and it brought the Tunnel Snakes jacket and all that stuff. It was cool because they actually interwove characters from Fallout 3 that you would have recognized their names into Fallout 4 and explained some of that and how all that worked. And it was a quest mod. It was fun.
Yeah.
We need more of that on the Creation Club, not more new gun skins. You can now have the Skyrim sword. No, I'm not going to pay money for that. No.
It's like, thanks, but the Nexus is a thing and it's free.
Be like, and honestly, it probably wouldn't be that hard for me to just bring the Skyrim sword over on my own.
Yeah, I'll just mod it in myself.
Well, considering it's the same goddamn engine.
You pretty much just gotta take the model, the mesh, and the texture, and right into the creation kit for Fallout 4, and click save, and you're done.
Oh, did I ever tell you, hunting through files, there are still spell files in Fallout 4?
Oh,
well,
boy.
they use the spells. I think they use them as an effect, like status effects. I think are identified as spells.
And
Oh
like
no, there's
elemental
effects,
damage.
there are spells. Like, there's the fireball spell in there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. There's no animation for them or anything, so you can't actually, like, use them.
Well, I mean, but
Or can you use them? It's just your character doesn't do anything.
I haven't got
You
that.
just like pull up your bare fists, and fireballs just as you swing, fireballs shoot out of your hands.
I mean,
It's like
as
fire
far
bending
as
in
I'm
Avatar.
concerned, why? Like the stuff gets left behind. There's no point in worrying too much about it. If there's no way of accessing it in the game, there's no need for them to fret about it.
Yeah. It's just one of those little
It'd be one thing if like the Whiterun cell was still in the creation kit for Fallout 76, but
And you can teleport to it.
you just use the COC command and go right to Whiterun. Like what? What?
And the random encounter is still in there, so Dragon encounter starts playing. Is like, what? The hell?
Speaking of Bethesda, again, we've already started our series of tangents. They did come out and say, regarding E3 this year, they will not be unveiling any new information on The Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield. They said those projects are still way out as far as content is concerned. But they're actually, I think they're still in the creation engine, but there's actually like a little behind the scenes clip about what they're doing for The Elder Scrolls 6, and the technology that they're using to build that game is pretty impressive.
Hopefully it's a new engine.
They're immortalizing Skyrim Grandma in Elder
Good.
Scrolls 6.
She needs to be immortalized somewhere.
You're going to be able to see her character in the game. Like her person, her human being is been...
They did face modeling, and I think they had her do some lines.
She's gonna be like the oldest soldier in the game or something like that.
She's just going to be a little... she'll be one of those characters like by day she's just a little baker, and then at night she works for the damn
Dark Brotherhood.
Dark Brother.
Yeah, she's like the current listener of the Dark Brotherhood or some shit.
I can see
Runs
that.
one of the sanctuaries.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, dearie. I'm glad you could come and visit us.
No, just some random old woman on top of a mountain or something, or in a small temple. But the moment you like accidentally attack her, she destroys you.
Yeah, just like one tap.
She's always like 20 levels above the player at all times.
But they're using the same new technology in Starfield as well. They haven't specified what entails new technology, but I personally don't have any problems with the creation engine, and I think Fallout 76 is going to be a good way for them to stretch their legs with the creation engine and actually fucking fix the problems that it has. Because in a single-player game with mod support, you don't have to fix those problems because, hey, guess what? The community will do it.
Well, sure, but why should you rely on your community to
I
fix your own
agree
product?
with that. And that's why I said,
Especially whenever you release
will you
iterative
shut your
products.
trap and let me...
I wasn't finished talking.
Neither was I. Fallout 76 is going to be good for the creation engine because the bugs that have been around since Morrowind will finally get fixed because people other than the developers can't fix them.
Well, yeah, but still.
I agree
it
that
shouldn't
the
have
community...
taken this long.
No, I agree that the community shouldn't have to fix the same bugs every game. I agree 100% that the developer should be behind that. But I'm saying that in the future, this Fallout 76 and all of the issues that it has had will be good for Bethesda's games post Fallout 76.
Sure,
Yeah,
but it should not have taken this long
No.
for them
I
to
am
fix their
not
own problems.
denying that.
Yeah, Bethesda's finally got like some of these bugs. Like, oh, wait, what happened to these bugs in previous games?
We just didn't do anything with them.
Some random dude on the internet fixed them. Why can't he do that now?
Well, it's an online game, so...
Oh, then the other guy, then like the people around the table, their eyes wide, and they're like, oh, shit.
It's like, guys, we actually have to do post-launch bug fixes.
Wait a minute.
It's like, hey, and then they go back to like way back. It's like, hey, did you ever fix that bug that's been around since like Oblivion? It's like, oh, the one that like breaks the game completely. Yeah. No.
No, I haven't messed with that when you guys do it yet. I know that was on the agenda in like 2009, but I don't know.
Yeah, they got this one like dusty room whiteboard of like stuff to do.
Yeah, and it's
all across it,
they've actually had to add more whiteboards to the room.
and it's like, well, each thing's like dated, and you got stuff going back to like 2001, 2004.
It's like uncapping the frame rate breaks game.
Oh, we
That's
don't really
been
have to
around
worry
for a
about
while.
that. We don't really have to worry about that one, do we, guys? Nah.
But yeah, so don't expect anything Starfield related or Elder Scrolls 6 related at E3.
Yeah, I'm the developer. I'm still not sure how they managed to do that. Your physics engine was tied to your frame rate.
No.
That
Bethesda's a special creature. The thing I think Bethesda is stuck in their old ways, where like back in the late 90s up to the early 2000s, where when you released a game, it was done. You released the game and you were done with it. You were on to the next project.
Yeah, you'd patch it maybe if you had a DLC, because that's how Morrowind got patched.
Yeah, you didn't.
You had to,
And so
you had to hope you fixed it by the time you got, they had 2 DLCs of that game. What's Blood Moon? They had to hope, like, they were praying that they got stuff fixed by Blood Moon, and then by the time they released Tribunal, they hoped and prayed they got the other stuff fixed.
yeah. Well, and I mean,
That
it's
they
like,
broke.
yeah. I mean, I think Bethesda for a while, like, practice-wise, was stuck in the early 2000s. And I think Fallout 76, they're like, oh, we can actually, like, patch games. Holy crap. Did you guys know we could do that?
Like, patch them immediately. Like, even once a week if we wanted to.
It's like, we could do a patch every hour if we wanted to. Do you guys know we could do that? Meanwhile, you got companies like Rare that are like,
You have their dev team crawl out of their patching room like, oh, Jesus. What breaks? Food.
No, get back to work.
I've been in there for 3 days.
I think I saw somewhere though that there is going to be a huge feature on Cyberpunk 2077 or 20. That is right? 2077, Cyberpunk 2077.
Sure, it could be. If that's what you want it to be.
Okay. I see. The reason it sounded funny to me is I'm like 2077 is the year the bombs fell in Fallout. I was really confused for a second.
Huh,
Are they
nice.
not?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Huh. What a coincidence.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. So I had to ask.
I just now realized that. I really hope one of the endings is like everything gets nuked.
Somebody needs to put a nod to either game in their game. Like there has to be some Easter egg.
Well, that's why I said I hope they have like an alternate ending or something, like a joke ending.
Yeah, where it's
everything
like-
gets nuked.
Where it's like towards the end of the game, everybody's like, dude, somebody's going to start a nuclear war. I just know it, man. Somebody's just like, what do you think this is, man? The 60s?
No, and then it's like, and then it happens, and he's like, man, I told you, I heard on the radio somewhere a long time ago that war never changes. And then, roll credits. All the Fallout fans are just like, really? Really?
You're going to do that? Really? That's not cool, guys.
No, really cool.
And then at the bottom of the credits, it's like, best part is our game wasn't broken. And then
The best part is you could play this on lunch. Be really embarrassing if you couldn't, though.
No, CDPR is pretty good about that.
I mean, you talk about how much time they've put into the game already. Like, they've invested more time in this game than most developers do
Speaking of
in 2 games.
investing time in a game to create a finished working project, apparently that's not what happened with Anthem.
Nope.
They had the game since 2012, and they fucking didn't do anything with it, pretty much, until, like, 6 months before it launched. It was like I think it was like 13 months before it launched. They didn't really have an idea of what the game was going to be until the E3 thing, the E3 playthrough.
The best part is they announced it, and they were still like, what? I kind of like this. No.
What are we doing? I don't know, man. What do you think this is going to be? And they just kind of, like, played hot potato with the idea of this thing until finally the fucking CEO was just like, hey, well, need to play a demo of that game sometime so we can show it off at E3. And they're like, oh, shit.
And they apparently almost completely faked that demo.
Yeah, they slapped it all together.
You know what that reminds me? That whole story makes me think of, like, imagine BioWare is a student in college and they've got a 10-page term paper due in the next day. That's the equivalent.
Yeah, they've had it fucking
like
the entire
3
semester.
months, and they're like, oh, I got plenty of time to do
Yeah,
it.
we've got plenty of time to do it. I'll just toss around these ideas in my head, and I think I know what to do. And then
They get back from a board.
Professor was like, oh, by the way,
Projects are due tomorrow.
well, he's just like, in case you didn't know, first drafts of your pages of your paper that is due next week, and the project is due the week after that. So, and the guy's like, oh shit.
Oh, he just goes home and just starts just word vomit on a piece of paper. That's why Anthem is such a jarring mess. As a gamer, I now know what my professors must feel like when I do my 10-page paper the night before.
It's just like, well, this is technically a game.
This is technically a term paper, albeit not a very good one.
It's like you hit all the points. It's just
Bad.
you didn't hit them like good in any way.
Oh god, so BioWare and Anthem, I'm now going to be called, that is now my analogy for them. They are the students who neglected to do their 10-page paper until the night before.
Yeah, pretty much. Jesus. And apparently it was a lot of the leadership wouldn't take responsibility, and they wouldn't give the teams direction for anything. It's just like, wow. That whole thing was a fail. Because apparently they had this idea in their head, kind of like Bethesda, where they're just like, oh, it's just BioWare magic. When it comes down to crunch time, we'll come together and we'll slap it together, and it'll be really good. Because that's how we always work. It's just like, no.
Says Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, right? That definitely worked out for you guys, huh?
Problem is, they planned for that one.
Yeah. And apparently...
it's just the design team, dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't know this until a little while ago. During the process of Anthem, with all the directionless ideas and the problems with teams not really communicating with each other very well, most of the A team left the company.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, of their best developers and other shit. They left the company because they weren't happy with the direction.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, that's why I said most of the BioWare people know and think of is actually gone. They've gone other places.
Yeah, BioWare that did
Apparently
Mass Effect
they started
3, I think...
another company.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
I don't know what the company's called.
So most of your Dragon Age and
Mass Effect 3, like the early Mass Effect games, yeah, they're gone.
those developers, they're...
I don't even think that those people had a hand in Andromeda.
I don't know, I think a lot of them quit.
I think that was...
A lot of them quit about that time as well.
Yeah.
It's just the rest of them pretty much quit during...
Anthem.
Yeah. You might have a few sprinkled in there, but that's not enough to make it to really matter.
So I wanted to touch base on, speaking of games that had a pretty rough launch. Fallout 76 added to their Wild Appalachia patch today. Lots of cool improvements and changes. So they added the Lying Low quest line. And I'm just going to read some of this. Separate fact from fiction as you investigate the mysterious disappearance of Calvin Van Lowe. Which essentially means it's all tied in. The whole patch is tied into the Sheep Squatch. They added the new cryptid in, and it looks rather interesting. For the sake of not spoiling it for anybody that might be not completing. I haven't completed the quest. I just barely started it. I will not put the image up on the screen. I know what the Sheep Squatch looks like, but Nate said he didn't want to have it spoiled, and I'm not going to spoil it for any of the viewers. So we'll just we'll leave that in. And then they added some design and balance adjustments. Vendors, turrets, glowing mass, and VATs have received some balance changes.
Can the turrets actually do damage to enemies now?
Hopefully. You can now rename your apparel, armor, power armor, and weapons.
So you can can you rename power armor chassis?
That's a good question. I hope so, because then you could just be like excavator, XO1.
Yeah, seriously.
That would be actually, I'd really appreciate it. I'll have to see. I that's what I was doing when you got here, is I was trying to figure out how to rename stuff, but couldn't find the button. Then as a news screen, a splash screen will pop up when you log into the game that'll tell you all the updates and news that's related to the game from the Bethesda website. And you can toggle that up anytime you want by hitting T in the main menu. And then on April 16th, we'll be getting The Burrows, which is a new subterranean dungeon that offers challenging experience for even the toughest wasteland adventurers. So we're finally getting like high-level endgame dungeons, which is really interesting. Kind of like the other night when we were in that fucking mine, except worse than that, because first off, all the enemies will spawn and not be dead. And second off, it's supposed to be harder than that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't think we told you. So we were doing the Brotherhood of Steel quest line so that we could... I was trying to get the Ultrasight power armor. I think you were just doing it for shits and giggles.
For to lols.
And
I was blowing shit up.
yeah, it takes you into a mine, and the mine is in the Cranberry Bog. And I know you don't play Fallout 76, but the Cranberry Bog, not a good place, pretty high level. And this mine is right next to Fissure Site Prime, which is like level 65 to 80 Scorch Beasts all the time, at least 3 in the air all at once. So once you get through all that chaos and make it into the mine, it's ghouls, scorched, robots, mole rats, and it gets better because you get to the end of a tunnel at the very entrance of the mine, and there's a tunnel this way, and then there's like a collapsed cave that you can see through. And what did you say you saw in there the first time you went down there without us, Nate? I just remember you said it wasn't.
That was dead.
Yeah, there were like 2 Scorch Beasts, some Fog Crawlers, a Mirelurk Queen. What else were there?
Mirelurk Kings. I don't know if there was. I don't know if there was a queen. There's at least 2 Mirelurk Kings.
No, there were queens because we saw queen corpses when we were in there.
Dead ones, but that wasn't the same room, I don't think. But yeah, there were 2 dead ones in there.
And that's just one chamber.
Oh, nice.
There were, what, 3 of those?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Every one of those chambers had at least 1 Scorch Beast in them. I think on average we see 2 dead ones.
Yeah. I did figure out some of those enemies are actually just decoration.
Even the ones that had loot on them?
The Mirelurk Queens were decoration.
Yeah, because those fog crawlers that were like draped over a rock, and the Scorch Beasts that were like in a certain spot on the rock, they're decoration. You can't move them.
That's a little more
I know for sure though.
settling.
Some of the fog crawlers and Mirelurk Kings were supposed to be alive because first time I went in there, I looked through that window. I was like, that's a whole lot of fucking noise.
Yeah, Nate looked through the little hole and he's like, "Oh, would you look at that? My food's almost done at the camp. I gotta go back. Darn."
Yeah, because the whole point is like you're following a Brotherhood of Steel squad that used to be ex-Rangers.
Yeah.
They killed all that shit.
Wouldn't want to fuck with that Brotherhood of Steel squad.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Like, that was the whole point. It's like they're ex-Rangers that joined the Brotherhood, so it's like they were pretty badass.
But, yeah, so you can expect some more high-level dungeons coming. I know that they've got a series of them that are coming. It's not just going to be the one. So I don't know what they consider a high-level dungeon. Like, is it between the mine and a nuke silo, or is it like past the nuke silo? Because apparently the nuke silos are pretty fucking tough.
Yeah. I don't know. We were fighting like level 60 enemies.
Yeah, we were. That high level dungeon though doesn't come until April 16th, which I think is when they're adding player vending and photo mode, like the new cameras. And they gave a little bit of detail on those cameras. Like they're actually going to have interchangeable lenses that you can swap out at a weapons workbench, and different effects so that you can just pull it out and take a picture of whatever you're looking at. It functions different than photo mode, which is kind of interesting.
Didn't they unlock one of the vaults?
There are vaults that now have... No, I wouldn't say unlock, but yes, I know what you're talking about. There's some vaults that look like they've had some work done in recent patches, and a lot of people speculate that one of those vaults is going to be a high-level dungeon.
I thought somebody said one of them was open now.
I think you can... There was a way that you could cheat your way into one of them. Like, there's a completed cell for 2 of them, actually, that have completed vault cells. But there were, as far as I'm aware, no enemies in there and not any loot yet. And when you got into them, you pretty much just had to, like, cheat your way in. I don't know all the details, though. So the quest line, it's available. You got to go to the Atomic Shop like usual and get the little poster. It's free. Put the poster down, or you can find it, I'm sure, scattered around the world like you could the drinking poster. And then that'll start your quest. And it's available, the poster's available until 9 a.m. Eastern time on May 7th. So you got about a month to get the poster. And I don't think you need the poster. Like I said, I think you can start the quest if you find one of those posters lying around in the world. but it's just easier. And again, it's free, so there's no worry about it. Survival mode changes. The amount of aid dropped on death has been significantly reduced. I haven't played survival mode yet. That is namely the reason. Because I don't want to lose all of my health stuff. The number of caps
Sounds
lost.
like you're just a fucking pussy.
Well, you see, the thing is, they didn't make it so that you had to create a new character when you went into survival mode. So I'm like a little level 60. I go in there and there's like a level 240. I'm dead. Like, I might as well just bow down and be like, shoot me in the face, because it'll save my ammo. Not going to get into a prolonged firefight with somebody that's 180 levels higher than me. Holy crap, don't do that. Whatever you were doing is clipping like mad.
My bad.
Holy crap.
He just moved a wire.
It sounds like somebody was like, they put that microphone in a wind tunnel.
That's weird.
Yeah. Might have to replace that cable at some point when I have money. The number of caps lost when killed by another player has been reduced from double to 25% of the character's level. Oh my god. So, if you got killed by a player who was level 200, you lost 400 caps.
Was it your level or their level? It's probably your level.
No, because it says that character's level, which I read that is the character that killed you.
I think it means that character as in your character, the character that dies.
Why would that?
Because caps lost are equal to the player of that, or equal, or 25% of that character.
My point is, though, why would you need to specify that? Because you can't play two characters at the same time.
In case you have another account or some shit. I think it says that character, so it's not saying that the character that killed you.
Because double your level, 60, compared to double somebody that's like level 300 is a big difference.
Well, I know, but still. I mean, regardless as to which way it is, if you die and you're level 200, you lose 400 caps. If you die and the person that killed you is level 200 and it is that way, then you lose 400 caps. So, whichever way it is, it still could be a very, very, very costly death.
Yeah, because that's...
Well, I think it's you lose the amount and they gain the amount based on the character that died. Because that would encourage higher level characters to fight higher level characters rather than walk around and grief lower level characters.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Because it's like a level 300 won't walk up to a level 60 and kill them because they just get 120 caps.
Also, for those of you that weren't aware, there was a bug with the temporary invulnerability, so that when you fast traveled somewhere, people would just camp by the spawn location for the fast travel thing and sit there with knives and stab people until they died. You were supposed to be temporarily invulnerable when you fast traveled places until you either fired your weapon or that timer ran out. And that wasn't working, so most people would fast travel and die before they even got a chance to load in. Again, since it's since been fixed.
That's pretty funny.
Just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that if you quit playing survival mode because of that, it's fixed.
I think that's funny because you could just like walk onto like an overpass or something. And you just see a group of people standing there with knives stabbing the air in a spot. It's like, what are you guys doing? Getting money.
and then you see a little dude, and he just immediately dies.
Spawns in and falls over.
Yeah, that's when you have somebody like Nate that does like it's like 500% extra damage per sneak attack. Just sit there with a sniper rifle or anything.
Yeah,
just knock people off the map.
He stands there with his stabby killy stick.
Stabby killy stick.
It's actually a pretty wicked looking dagger.
Well, that's what he said he was gonna name it. Now that you can name weapons. His stabby killy stick, and he'll be stabby killing the air with his stick.
So this next change I have mixed feelings on, and I'll explain once I get through it. So the vendor faction bots have been updated. A vendor from every faction, excluding the Enclave, can now be found downstairs at the shops of the White Spring Resort. So, in case you all don't know how the trade system works, previously, every vendor had their own pool of caps. The faction, the Free States faction had 200 caps. The Raider bots had 200 caps. The Enclave had 200 caps. The Responders had 200 caps. Every Responder bot pulls caps from that pool. Every Raider bot pulls caps from their pool. So, once their caps were depleted, you either had to leave servers, wait for them, and I think it's 22 real-time hours, or go to a different vendor faction and sell. So,
yeah, I remember because if you get on a busy server, it's like, oh, I need to sell some stuff. 1 cap. Nice.
Now, I don't know. I've never had that problem because I always thought it was local, like to you, because I've never run into a vendor that's had more or less than 200 caps.
Used to happen all the time.
Because you guys have even sold stuff to people after, or bought stuff or sold stuff to people after I've sold all their caps worth. Like, I've sold a shitload of 8 items, and then one of you's walked up and bought, like, ammo.
But that's different. You're buying something.
Well, or sold stuff. I don't know, but I know that you guys have sold stuff. Because, like, I was standing in the way, and I vividly remember, maybe it was one of you two, or Gandhi, or John, but somebody was like, you're in the way, I can't talk to the vendor. So I finished selling all my stuff, and he had, like, 8 caps left. I turned around and left, and the next person started selling shit without a problem. Sold legendary weapons, too. So I don't know. Maybe they've changed that way back, and I'm just not remembering the early days, but the way it works now.
I remember the early days, like, we couldn't sell anything because none of the bots had any caps.
Yeah. And here's where my mixed feelings about this start. So they say this should help end the need to fast travel to multiple locations in order to sell to various vendor bots. You're right. That would. But here is where they make all of that moot. All of the vendor cap pools have now been removed. So the pool of 200 caps that was previously allocated to each vendor has been merged into one pool of 1,400 caps. So, now you go to any vendor and they have 1,400 caps, which is good. But what was the point of putting them all in the White Spring Resort?
Yeah.
Like, in my head, I'm like, cool, you put all the vendors in the White Spring Resort so I can sell 200 caps worth of crap to this dude, and then 200 caps worth of crap to that dude, and then 200 caps worth of crap to that dude.
Now you just walk up to the nearest robot and just, like, junk.
Yeah.
All on him.
Now, the one advantage to that is if you're buying plans that one faction tends to carry over another, I suppose that would be useful. Like, for instance, the Responders, I think, are the ones that have the plans to build the Broadsider. So I don't have to go hunting down a Responder bot. I can just go to the White Spring Resort and just walk around the shops and buy plans. So it has some mild advantages. I would have appreciated them putting them all in one spot and leaving the cap limit alone. Or increasing the individual pools. Because when you combine them all, it doesn't... It's still the same. I'm not going to be able to sell any more caps worth of equipment. So I have mixed feelings about that. Here is your information about the turret, though. Player-built turrets are now affected by PvP damage rules, which feature damage scaling as well as an increase in base damage for all types of turrets, ranging from 15% increase to 100% increase depending on the turret. Additionally, turret attack ranges have been increased to match players' weapon ranges. I don't know what that means.
Your turrets had a stupid short range of where they would actually start attacking an enemy.
But what do they mean by matching your weapon range?
It'd probably be similar to like a hunting rifle. If I had to guess. Or a standard combat rifle.
The shotgun turret's projectile spread has been reduced to better imitate the combat shotgun. I never used the shotgun turret, so I wouldn't know.
I could never build them.
Okay, so the chance to acquire milk from Brahmin spawned at a player's camp has been reduced by half. These are additional design and balance updates. So, consume alcohol challenges have had their requirements reduced from 50 and 25 beverages to 20 and 10. Craft alcohol challenges have had their requirements reduced from 50 and 25 to 20 and 10. The rate at which food spoils is now more consistent. I never noticed food spoiling faster than.
I had better assault perks, so food lasted me a while.
Hopefully
they didn't break that.
They did a while back, but they fixed it since then.
Yeah, I must not noticed.
Resources that glowing creatures drop as loot in nuke zones, such as glowing mass and hardened mass, are now instanced for all players who deal damage to those characters, those creatures, which means if you shoot something and kill it and help kill it, it's not just one pot of loot for everybody that was involved. Everybody will be able to get that loot. I'm going to throw something at Nate.
Are you tired?
No.
Are you sure?
Yep.
It's hot as fuck in here.
Yeah, it is.
So, here we go. New feature, item renaming. Add a personal touch to a wide variety of items by giving them custom names. These include apparel, armor, weapons, power armor, chassis, and power armor pieces you own.
Finally.
We
can label that stuff.
Weapons that stack cannot be renamed, which is fine. To rename an item, select it in your inventory, stash, or workbench, and choose the inspect option.
That means you can't have a holy hand grenade.
That's true.
Dang it.
That's, simple stupid stuff like that. But your actual customized weapons, you can rename.
Yeah.
What about my holy hand grenade?
Great, so everything that I mainly use is getting renamed 1 through 8. Hey, that's how I had it in Fallout 4. What weapon do I want to use? It's like open up the boy, they're all at the top. You don't have to scroll for them or anything. They're all right there.
Fair enough. Fair play.
But you select the inspect option and then select the rename option to enter and save a custom name for that item. They can be renamed as much as you want. Choose the clear name option to restore an item's default name. A custom name will only appear to the player who originally renamed that item, and the item will return to its default name when traded, sold, or dropped. That's a little unfortunate.
You know, when I play Fallout, I always try to keep my weapons on me realistic. So, like, I'll carry, like, maybe 2 primaries and a handgun and a knife. And that's usually it. I get the most.
Meanwhile, I've got, like, 3 rifles, 2 shotguns, 3 launchers, a grenade launcher.
Yeah, 20, I've got
20 plasma grenades.
No, I also used to play on the survival on, like, Fallout 3 and 4 in New Vegas. And, you know, I only had, like, 120 carry weight. So I'm used to only having, like, 1 or 2 guns on me.
Well, I mean, how does that have to do with renaming items, though? Oh, I guess because you don't have to worry about searching through.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about
a huge list.
Searching through a list of guns.
Yeah. That's why I renamed them my main things 1 through 8. Okay, it was 1 through 8, and there would be a little thing like, okay, 1 rifle, combat rifle. Was like,
no, I would. If it were me and I was using that naming status or situation, I would be like 1 for ghouls, 1 for robots, 1 or 1 for ghouls, 2 for robots, 3 for death claws, 4 for big motherfuckers. 5.
Then you get down to 8, all caps. Oh shit!
I named a lot of my guns in Fallout 4 like that. I did. Like I had I had that mod that had that big freaking sniper rifle. I had one that was like 4 robots and 1 for insects and like mirelurks and stuff, and I had them all labeled for what they were used for.
Yeah, but you didn't have one that was just oh shit.
I'm gonna have to rename my fat man that.
Oh shit. It's like why is it called oh shit? Because the only reason you pull this baby out in the middle of fights
is something made you say oh shit.
Because I got too many nukes. And I've got to make them count.
Yeah, the gun in Fallout 4 did like 2,000 damage. That it was like it was basically an oh shit gun. The ammo was super expensive though.
20 millimeter.
It was like 20 millimeter depleted uranium or some shit. So you had to have all kinds of stuff to make it.
See, he played on a stupid hardcore mod Fallout version that all of his enemies had like 8 million health.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically.
If Dark Souls was Fallout.
If the way I played it is, if I got a shot off on them and they didn't see me, I could kill them in like 1 or 2 hits. If I shot them or if they saw me and I shot them, like I was pretty much dead. Like there was no fighting them.
That is what started his fear of sentry bots.
I can't fight sentry bots.
He has PTSD.
I only use ballistic weapons, and the ballistic weapons do no damage to him.
Nope.
So yeah, I just run away from him.
I like how he'll fight anything else in the damn game. Deathclaw, no problem. I'll walk up to that motherfucker and fight it. Wendigo, piece of cake. Ghouls, no problem. Scorch Beast, let's do it. He sees a sentry bot, he's like, nope, 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 nope. And you just see him go, nope, 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 nope. Runs back up the hill. Yeah, he won't fight sentry bots.
Man, that one time we all got amped up for that one sentry bot.
Yeah, and then it died like that and almost killed everybody when it exploded.
No, we were like, wait, don't these things explode? Yeah, it's usually right after death. Well, it's not doing it. I guess it's not in this one.
Yeah, and then Gandhi walks right up to it and it explodes as soon as he gets there.
That was great.
For those of you that would like to relive that moment, I actually clipped it from our stream. You can go back into my clips archive on Twitch and find it.
Them were the early days. That was back when we were all.
That was beta.
Was that the beta? That
was the 7-hour beta.
That was. Wow, I don't even think we hit like level 15 at that point.
No, we were all level 13. I think that's why we were everybody was drugging up for that fight. Like, Gandhi's like shooting Psycho and taking all these buff out, and he's like, all right, everybody, do your drugs.
It's like, all right, everybody go on vantage point. Everybody's crouched, like, hunting rifles out. Because it was like, that was all we had.
Well, that's all we used, because back then, fucking 308 ammo, you'd find like 400 rounds in an hour.
Yeah.
Now it's much less. Like, John was talking the other day when he played, he's like, no, I still think 308's pretty easy to find. I'm like, it's not.
No, I don't find. I usually like.
I find 3 or 4 at a time.
Like every 30 rounds I go through, I find 4. So it's not. I'm not finding.
You used to burn 100 rounds, but while burning 100 rounds, you would profit an extra 150 because you'd find 250 from everything you killed.
I go to an area where the enemies are using 308 caliber rifles.
We just need to have a Camp McCarran for fucking 308 rifles.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you go if you want springs for clipboards. We need to have a place like that.
We just
for
pile our resources together and have one person designated to make ammo.
Yeah.
You're like, get your people shooting bullets here.
Dude, don't joke though. I'm telling you, I think when player vending comes out, Gandhi's gonna become a moonshiner. Like, I'm almost certain, because you guys have seen his camp. We've talked about this. It's under a bridge. He's just gonna put.
Oh, is it still there?
Yeah, he's just gonna put 2 little vending machines out on the sidewalk next to that bridge, and enemies that are passing by, they'll be like, "What's in this vending machine?" They pop it open, vintage Nuka Shine, cranberry moonshine, whiskey, bourbon. They'd be like, "Okay," and then just buy.
I'll pay caps for that.
I don't have to make it.
Hey, come on to the bridge. See, there's a fucking station and he's in his underwear brewing.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all check out the vending machines up top. Some good shit, ain't it?
It's funny, you joke, but that's exactly what Gandhi would do, because he runs around in his underwear with sunglasses. He would throw a chef's hat on to add to it, and then he'd run around, and I could just imagine somebody like you got voice chat on, and you hear people up top like, where, like, it's a player vending machine, where's his camp? And you just hear like, and you just hear brewing sounds beneath you, and it's like, is he under the bridge? I think he's under the bridge. And he just comes up there like, oh, howdy, y'all. You guys get some of that good shine up there, man? Oh, that was a good batch. It's like, I'm brewing some tequila sunrise and margaritas down here. You guys come get them, discounted price right off the brewing station.
Freshly brewed, right out of the still. Can we get it? Discounted price just for you all. I even got a little sitting area.
You say that, but his sitting area is like right by his front door, and it's in mud and water.
That's just extra perfect.
Yeah.
He goes and sits down there and is like, "Come on, guys, open up a bottle. Let's have some."
It's like, it smells down here. You get used to it after you live here for a few years, man. It's just I don't even remember what it smells like. I know you guys think it probably smells like blood bug poop or something, but it just smelled normal to me.
I can't smell anything anymore after brewing all that time.
Yeah.
Yes, nose hairs are just gone.
Yeah.
Can he make the banjo?
Oh, he has the banjo.
You'll just see the vending machines, and then all of a sudden you just hear banjo music. And you're like, what's going on?
It's like,
I don't know if we should inspect this or run.
What's his character name?
Angry Gandhi.
Angry
Dude,
Gandhi.
we need to get together, make new characters, get in survival mode, and be a bunch of like hillbillies with banjos and chase people around and kill them.
Use the guitar sword or whatever and just beat people to
Yes.
death with it. He has the death tambo.
We'll set up a camp somewhere, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. People are gonna be walking by, and they're gonna hear the banjos. They're gonna come to investigate, and there's just gonna be a bunch of hillbillies come out, emerge from the windows and buildings. Yeah.
Fresh meat, boys.
Dude, that'd be great.
Could you imagine? It's like you get this one moderate level character. He's like, oh look, I found a couple people's camps. I'm I'm gonna start breaking them. See if I can draw them back here. And as soon as he gets to the door and starts picking the lock on one of them, like we build all of our camps like right next to each other, so then he's just like, what the fuck was that? And it's just like boom, 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 you see the doors open. You just see a lever action rifle pop out. Boy, you get on the wrong property, boy. Grenades start flying out of the neighboring house windows, and he just turns around and runs.
Like, oh shit!
We gonna eat well tonight.
It's like, what are you talking about?
That
Oh,
some bitch must be at least 200 pounds.
Dude, that'd be so awesome.
come here, brother. I got a runner. It's like, oh, wait till he finds my trap sitting out there by the ground now. Dude stops, and you got a guy like hiding up in the woods behind him. He just jumps down and goes and kills him. Like, oh, he fell for my gimmick. He thought there's actually a trap out there on the road, but it turned out Daryl just came down and kicked him in the face, and now he's dead. Oh God, that would be hysterical. You gotta use, but yeah, you have to use like all backwoods weapons. Like it would have to be fucking double barrel shotguns, lever action rifles, the hunting rifle, and like knives. No 10mm pistols. You'd probably use a revolver. I would allow a revolver.
Black powder rifle for sure.
Oh, we could all just use black powder rifles.
Black powder rifles and knives.
Then we'd all need to dress up in the Revolutionary War outfit.
Black powder rifles and hatchets and stuff.
And you just see, like, you walk up into the woods, like, by a river, and you're getting water, and you just see one dude standing over there with a Revolutionary sword in his hand. It's just like, turn and leave, or face my wrath. Like, dude, you're like 20 levels lower than me. What are you gonna do?
It's like you're about to cross Mason-Dixon line.
It's like, boys, ready? You just see a bunch of black powder rifles come out of the trees. Aim! You see a bunch of people in Revolutionary War outfits step out from behind like tree trunks and aim down the sights with their black powder rifles at you. You're just like, all right, look, man, look. I know you're 20 levels low. I didn't mean any offense to that. I didn't mean any offense at all. Fire! And you just hear a bunch of muskets firing at the same time.
Dude, that's another great idea. Just get a big
Affix
group
bayonets, charge!
Just get a big group of people and in the Civil War outfits and whatever.
Just
and
do Civil War reenactments?
And march around the map like a big group.
It's like, we are here to protect Appalachia from the redcoats.
Somebody's like,
Civil
man,
War stuff. What colors? What? Or do you have Union and?
Yep, you're
Confederate.
both.
Yeah, you do. I
Somebody-
forgot you said Civil War. I thought you said Revolutionary War.
You see, like, somebody's like, look at the maps, like, man, there's a whole lot of people right here gathered together. What are they doing down there? You teleport there, and it's like, you see, like, there's like a formation of soldiers is marching.
Yeah,
Like,
and then
what the fuck?
and then it's like hold, and he raises up his sword, and they all stop. Aim! They all aim down the barrels and step out, and you see a mole rat pop up out of the ground. Fire!
Overkill. But you have to make sure, like, all but 2 rounds miss.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, those things are kind of hard to aim, so they probably will.
Yeah.
I'm
You
telling.
also gotta have like a bunch of people.
Everybody ends up getting the dragon.
Oh my god.
You gotta have a bunch of people in Union and Confederate things and just do a reenactment.
Yeah. Actually, you can do that. There's a spot in the map for that.
Yeah, there's a spot that's like a little event that pops up sometimes.
It's a PvP event, but they don't give you rifles. Yeah, it's stupid.
No, that's what we need to do. That's it. Next time we get into Fallout 76, we're gonna go black powder rifle hunting. We're gonna try and get everybody a black powder rifle.
Don't they have plans for that?
Probably. We need the plans for that and the bayonet for it.
I could make us some high-ass level black powder rifles.
And then we're just going to get as many people to walk around. We stock up on as many Civil War uniforms as possible, right? And we just walk up to somebody and be like, come join our cause. And we just drop them down a black powder rifle and a freaking uniform and keep walking in formation.
The revolution will begin soon. Join our cause.
It's like, what are we fighting against? The super mutant.
Or we can get like a group of people together as we march toward a camp, or somebody's like what are those places called where they have like the special, like you can mine for resources and all that stuff.
Oh, the workshops?
They can march on a workshop and steal it from somebody. Like they're sitting there like in their workshop doing stuff, and turn around, there's just like a group of 12 people in uniform.
Yeah, you just see a blockade
marching
of
up.
people like walking down in.
Somebody hot micing fucking piccolo and snare. marching.
Yes.
As you
It's
come
like,
up.
what the
No,
fuck?
they're looking at the map. They just see like a block of people slowly making their way to them. It's like, hope they don't come here.
Yeah, and
know
it's
what that
just
is.
like.
Maybe you'll hear the music before you see the people. You see her getting louder slowly. Is that an iBot? What is that? I've never heard
It's
that
like you turn
before.
around and it's just like a perfect blockade of people walking in beautiful formation, just walking down the road towards you. It's like, surrender your post now or face the north.
In the name of the Union, step aside.
No.
We need to talk like the guy from Monty Python and the Holy Grail at the top of the tower.
The French dude.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the guy defending the workshop. No, go away or I will taunt you a second time.
Oh man!
You know, I
Some great
recently
ideas.
rewatched that movie, and I'm pretty sure it's beat for beat the actual story of King Arthur and the Holy Grail, just with stupid shit thrown in.
Dude, it's an absolutely terrific movie.
It's pretty funny.
It's fantastic.
Some of the jokes kind of fall a little flat, but
Different times.
yeah, but pretty much everything else is.
Are those coconuts?
Are those coconuts?
Usually with movies that old, like the comedy is not all that great, but that one's pretty good.
The opening credits bit kind of, I think, goes on for a little
Yeah,
too long.
that
But
is annoying indeed.
Oh, I love that bit.
the
Opening
credits bit,
it goes on for
it goes
Which
on too
credits?
long. It's pretty. The opening credits.
Not the one with the swallows and the coconuts, right?
No, the opening credits.
Oh, I get you now. Yeah.
With the subtitles at the bottom.
Yeah.
That just kind of goes on a little too long.
No, I thought you were talking about the swallows and the coconuts bit, and I'm like, no, that's one of the best parts of the whole movie.
Yeah, and
Where on earth did you get coconuts?
I am your king. I wish to speak to the lord of this castle. Or perhaps it was an African swallow.
No, they can't carry it that distance.
Where's he supposed to grip it? It's not a matter of where he grips it.
Fantastic.
Perhaps it was two swallows. Carry it between themselves with a pair of twine.
One of the best scenes in all of cinematic history, to be completely honest with you.
You know what's funny is, I watch movies with my dad all the time.
We seek
And
the Holy Grail.
He's never laughed at a movie before. I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail at his house, and he was dying.
It's just rolling. We seek the Holy Grail. No thanks. We already got one. I told him we already got one.
You already have one. Can I see it?
No.
No, go away.
And I love how they go on that grand adventure, and at the very end they come back, and it's the same guy at the tower.
Oh man,
Fantastic movie. And with that, we are just out of time.
I
So
think that's the second week in a row we've talked about the Holy Grail.
no, I don't think it is.
Did we talk about it last week?
No, we didn't.
We talked about it one time
I'm sure
on
we've
the
talked
podcast.
about it before, but
Fairly recently, I think. May not have been last week, but
We will probably be live. I'll probably be live tonight streaming something. I don't know what. I can't be on late tonight though because I work real early tomorrow. So it'll be an early night. So just check back here around 6 or 7 Eastern time. Actually, probably 7 or 8 Eastern time is more appropriate. And see if we're streaming. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We'll see you next time.